A couple of things I didn't mention in the previous part is a little bit of the training and other support facilities and whatnot that would be available at this large facility that we have going on there. But also, we would be able to hopefully provide a bit of medical services. And by that, I mean like STD testing and type of treatment that went along with that, so there'd probably be like a small pharmacy or just to treat certain types of venereal diseases and whatnot that the girls might accidentally contract. Hopefully they don't, obviously. We would very much promote safer sex practices and whatnot, but some of them, it's a good possibility that a lot of them would come in with sicknesses and whatnot, and that would also give a really good training opportunity for them. Another thing is taking blood, administering any type of medications or anything like that, that nursing, RN, whatever type of training that would also accomplish. But another thing is kind of funny. This is kind of like a two-part thing, but some people might think that a facility like this wouldn't really be able to make a lot of money. I don't really know why you would think that. I'm pretty sure it would. I'm pretty sure it'd make a lot of money, a whole lot of money, just on the things that I've mentioned itself. But another way that this facility could make money, just, for extra programs, just to train these girls to get them out of there in the long run, something like that, is to have, for one, sorry, but you might have like a sperm donation type of co-op going on. There's obviously a lot of fluids exchanged in this type of facility. And, if you wanted to go in there and get a discount on whatever it is that you were doing, I guess you could sign up. And then I know when guys think about going to a sperm bank and they kind of dread just, I've never been to one, but I mean, you always hope that there's like a hot nurse there or something like that, like a movie fantasy kind of thing that will help you do your thing. This could actually be a thing if that was integrated into this facility. So I think that would be pretty funny. If you're like, oh, I came here to donate sperm. Oh, would you like help with that? Yes. Yes, I would. And then, the sexy nurse could help you out at that point, and that would give you training too. I mean, specimen collection and all this other type of different things that go along with the storage and reception and different types of stuff like that. But also, I guess the other part of that would be the sex type of objects, stuff from the sex toy store or condoms. You might be able to make deals with like manufacturers of condoms or any of those toys or anything like that. Obviously, they'd be able to test products on site, they'd be able to promote new different types of condoms, they'd be able to get direct feedback and this and that. So it'd be a pretty interesting and accessible way to get maybe research done or anything like that has to do with those type of fields. So there's two like corporate sponsors that are outside that would be able to add to the funds to that, just so that would be able to pay for things on the facility, like besides the construction, but the support and things like that. And I guess the last kind of thing before I get off topic a little bit, I'd like to talk about is the hours that some of these girls work are pretty crazy. I mean, they could be, going from hotel room to hotel room for 4 days straight or whatever. They put themselves through some crazy things to make the money that they have quoted to them by their pimps or whatever. Well, working at a place like this, since you would be able to capitalize on, you'd basically be capitalizing on the small amount of acts that you would be doing, so you'd make the most money out of it. So, but there'd also be, I mean, obviously the other support things that you'd be able to do there, if you don't want to have sex that day, there's tons of other shit. But I mean, you basically you'd be able to choose your own hours, if you wanted to just coast and do like maybe like one sexual act a week and then, work in the support facilities the rest of the week. You'd have your 8-hour days normally, and it would be just entirely different than what it would be like working on the streets. Besides, obviously, the danger and people would take care of you and all the training you'd be offered, but the amount of time that you'd have to put in it should hopefully be a lot less. You would never end up working more than like a 40-hour a week type of thing, because that would really just be unnecessary. It really would. You probably would never have to get down to that point, but so it'd be a lot easier in that sense. And I guess kind of shifting topics a little bit, a lot of people are really against legalizing prostitution or any kind of illegal activity that we have around today. And they don't really realize the effects that making it illegal kind of have on things. And one of those negative effects is that you can't really regulate who comes into the sex industry and when. Unfortunately, on our streets and behind closed doors, there is a lot of underage prostitution. I think the average age of entry into prostitution is anywhere from 12 to 14 years old. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want my kid at any age to enter prostitution, but definitely not anywhere below 18. Even 18 would, I'd still, at the very least, legalizing it would hopefully end up giving people this outlet for getting their jollies off, I guess, but making it to where it's all of consenting age and not taking advantage of our children in any way. If you don't know a whole lot about prostitution, you're wondering why the hell I'm making this video. I don't want to say years of study, but I've learned a lot about the subject. If you want to know more about the subject, then go ahead and check out the documentary Sex and Money. I actually went to the premiere of one of these at my university. Or, gosh, watch the movie Taken. Taken, yes, good movie. Anything with Liam Neeson in it, good movie. And or the movie, I believe X, the Australian one about the two prostitutes that were running. If you want to, there's so many movies out there. Just have a little marathon. Watch yourself how things can be. A lot of times that stuff not dramatized at all. It really isn't. Things can get that bad or worse. I've heard stories of children being kidnapped and kept in like metal dog kennels and only taken out, have their pictures taken and put up on the internet so that people can bid to go have sex with them. And then obviously they get taken out of the kennel for that. But I mean, can you imagine? I mean, it's modern day human slavery, and it goes on under our noses in our country, this country, is supposedly one of the greatest countries in the world. I'll say that I said this once, I'll reiterate it again. I'm not for prostitution. Even if a place like this was open, chances are I probably wouldn't go there. I don't want to say I have too much respect for women. I do have a lot of respect for women. I don't, I, I just don't see the need to go to any of these places, but there's obviously a need, a demand out there, and that's the biggest problem. The demand. The demand's never going to go away. People are always going to want to have sex. And until you get to my later chapter, figure that one out, then legalizing it, making it safe, keeping the girls safe, and on a legal aspect, from a legal standpoint, if you were to bring all of the street prostitutes and even like, higher end escorts and everything like that all together into one place, you would basically have 24-hour access to all your witnesses. Another one of the things I'd like to plug is a friend of mine, Chris Bachman. He wrote a book named Off the Street, and if you read the book, you'll figure this out. But he's the I don't think he's the head. He's definitely a member. He might be the leader of an organization called PIT in Las Vegas. It's called the Pandering Investigation Team. Basically, what they do is they just they almost completely ignore the illegality of prostitution on the level of the prostitutes themselves, the workers, and they go after the panderers, the actual pimps and things like that. He disagrees with me on the point of legalization, and he's got the experience. Everyone obviously completely respect his position, but if you were to put all these women together in one place and 100% make sure that they're safe, because it would be a closed facility. You'd have to sign in and this and that to get on the premises, and there'd be security 24 hours. Like I said, you'd have access to all the witnesses. If you want to bus them to the courtroom, to bring down all their pimps all at once, you can go in and have like a little photo sesh where you basically put together files on all the pimps that they've ever encountered, that they've ever worked with, anything like that, and basically take all these guys down. So not only would you take away all their business, but you'd also put them all in jail. So the pimping and prostituting business that was on the illegal side would all but completely be eliminated at that point. And I think I say again, I'm really not for prostitution, but I think legalizing it in the sense that I have laid out here in these videos is really the only way to get rid of it, for sure, in the long run, or at least control it and make it as safe as possible.